Hi everybody, welcome back. In this video we're going to continue thinking about working with external data, which is most likely the data that we're going to be using when we're doing some econometrics, since we use a lot of observational data for this type of analysis. So a lot of times you'll have a text file or a CSV or an Excel file, and you want to open that and do some analysis in it. So, to do that in Excel, you just simply open it in Excel. If it's a CSV, it'll open up just fine. Excel file, of course, will open up just fine. We're going to look at how to open up files in Python. And so to do that, we're going to use a sales.txt or a sales.csv, either one. So you could either download these files directly or download the entire archive of data and scripts. So we're going to be using the import-export script, but it's going to be using that sales.csv dataset. CSV stands for comma-separated values, so those are separated by commas. Actually, you can even see that here. And actually, well, if you open this up in a so let's show that, and then if we open this with Notepad, we can see that that file is separated by commas. Fortunately, Excel understands what that is, and it'll open it directly all by itself. So what we're going to do is the same thing in Python. Now here it matters a little bit more on where you save that. And so in my case, that file is saved under my C directory in a folder called Python, which we actually talked about in I think the very first video in this Excel to Python video series. And so I have it then saved under a book downloads folder, and there you can find sales. Okay, so that's where it is, and if you go to Spider, you can see up in the top the current working directory. I've already changed mine, but previously my working directory was in the video tutorial code for Python. If it's in the wrong place, you can simply come here, navigate to where your file is. Mine happens to be in this book downloads folder. We're going to select that folder. That's now the current working directory. And when I go to open up the sales data, it's going to be there. So we're going to need Pandas. So we're going to import Pandas as PD. And we're going to import a CSV. We're going to call this new data frame df1. And the function that we use is a read CSV function inside of Pandas. And then the first argument is simply the file path to the name of the file. So because I've already included the current working directory as book downloads, all I have to do is put in sales.csv, and the delimiter is a comma. A lot of times it'll recognize this by itself, but just in case, header, we're going to do none, and the names, which we can specify the names of the variables that we want, we can create as a list. I'm actually, like the code, I'm going to do this on a next line. So we put the names of our list of sales. We have no header, so that's why we have a none on header. But this first column is going to be product, well, actually, very first of all, we have the year, then product 1, product 2, product 3. So we're going to make a list that includes the year, product 1, and product 2, and product 3. Okay, and so when we do that, we define our data set. But if I did it right, then, PD. Oh, I gotta run on the first line of code. And then, yeah, there we go. We have our data frame there. And we have year, product 1, product 2, product 3. Okay, so that's how we're, if it's not already there, then we would define the variable names ourselves. Okay, so the other way we could look at that if we wanted to is df1. So that'll show up down here. Now, the other thing we could do, if this was wrong, if this was off, let's say our working directory is back here in Python, and if we clear all of this, and we try to run it, we're going to get an error. Sales CSV does not exist. So that means that it's looking for a document called sales CSV inside the current working directory, which is currently C:/Python. So if we wanted to change that so that we can get there, we could start from where we are in the current working directory. So in our case, let me scroll over here. We're in Python. We need to add the folder metrics lectures and then the folder book downloads. So the way we do that is inside of this, we add metrics lectures, book downloads, and then we should have our sales CSV. So again, we're starting from nothing. Let's see if this new code works. There we go. So we've done it that way. And then last of all, the other thing you could do is instead of worrying about where the current working directory is, you can go navigate to the file, and you could put in the entire file path. So you do C, Python, metrics lectures, book directories. And one nice easy way to do that is find your data set, click on properties, and inside here, you're going to have the location. And so you can just copy that, go back to your Python code, wherever it is, and add the directory, although actually, I don't know if it'll work with those backslashes. Let's try it. Yeah, I guess it works. Oops. Oops. F9. Yeah, actually it works. So maybe it doesn't matter. Actually, no. That is. I guess that's what we had in the first place. And we can confirm that here real quick. /. So, yeah, actually, I guess it doesn't matter. You can use a / or a /. Python's cool with whatever. Yep. So either way, // so if you want, you don't need to worry about the working directory. You just put the entire file path of where your data is, and then throw your throw your file in there as well. Okay, so we've imported some data. Now we could do the same thing. So you could do a read CSV function. You can do a read table function and use a text file. In that case, it'll be delimited with spaces instead of commas. That'll give you the same thing. But let's go ahead and do this one. We're going to add a row of data. Actually, I'll just copy and paste that one. But we're using df1, so we're using a function that's called append. And because a data frame can really be thought of as inside the data frame as a dictionary, so we're adding another year. So remember, the data, it looks like this. Year 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're going to add 14, and then we're going to add our products for that year. So the year is going to be 14, product 1, 10, product 2, 8, product 3, 2. Ignore index, we run that. And our new data frame 3, has this new row of data. Okay, and then the last thing that we're going to do, df3 if you want to look at it, is export with Pandas. And in this case, we're going to export this to another CSV file. So again, we're in tutorial code. I actually, I'm going to take that new data set, df3, dot to the function to CSV. And so if I just give it a name now, say if I call it sales2.csv, that's going to save in the current working directory. So if we want it to be in the same spot, we could just take from above and change the name to sales2. So just real quick, it doesn't exist in my computer right now. I run, df3 dot to CSV. Okay, I think we're okay. Yeah, there we go, to CSV. And now if we go back to the folder, we have our sales2 file there. If we open Excel, now not only do we have our observations as before, but we've added product names. We have this index that Python added in there, and our new year of data. So we did that all in Python. We could have done the same thing in Excel by just adding an extra row of data there. But yeah, that's how we're gonna import and export data from Python. The other thing that it has is, so we have pandas.read CSV. That's going to allow us to open up CSV files, but we have, so let's do it like this. CSV files, we use the following. Actually, if we have text files, we do pandas dot, that's read CSV. If it's text files, we do read table. That'll give us a text file. Another very common one would be an Excel file. So XLS or XLSX. To open those, we use the pandas function read Excel. And if you want to save a file as an Excel file, you can do the function to Excel. And then there are a couple other ones. Stata is a a common econometrics language or software to do econometrics, and those are called DTA files. So you can do a pandas.read stata. And another common statistical language and software are SAS files, which are commonly .export and .ssd files, among others. But you can do pd.read SAS. And if you come across other strange data sets online, there are almost surely different pandas methods to import that data into a data frame in Python. So you've got all sorts of options there. Most commonly, you're probably going to use Excel files or CSV files. In some cases, you might have some others. But those are the functions to import them. To export them as an Excel file, you do a to Excel, and then you do a to CSV. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, all of these PDs, those should all be DFs. So this is the name of the data frame itself. So if we have a data frame called DF, then we can oh no, sorry. Only the twos are the data frames. So the name of the data frame dot to CSV, like we did up here, based on a data frame that already exists. When we're importing data, we're using our pandas function. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video, but it's going to be very useful. This is going to be a very common thing to import data from different downloads or websites. So that's going to do it for this video. In the next, we're going to continue looking at a little bit more on importing and exporting. And then we're going to get into, now that we have data sets, we're going to be able to get into some analysis. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.